as you know, we are here always here. And we haven't done a weekend review in a very, and I mean very long time. But we're going to start off with Monday Night Raw, and let's get right into it. So the first segment of Monday Night Raw is Randy Orton says sights on Drew McIntyre. Okay, Randy Orton opened the show with a promo talking about how much he has accomplished in his WWE career and compared himself to past stars like The Rock and Steve Austin. He said something is missing, and he didn't know what it was until today. He has decided that he wants the WWE title back. Sorry. Oh, the national burp of the video. And that means going through McIntyre. The Viper spoke about how the Scottish psychopath has earned his respect after what he did to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He officially challenged McIntyre to a title match at SummerSlam. He left the ring and Nia Jax came out and spoke about how she understands where he is coming from. She said she's also woke up this morning wanting her championship back. It took less than a minute before Shayna Baszler interrupted her and the show went to a break as they got physical. Okay, so next is the Viking Raiders versus Ricochet and Cedric versus Angel Garza and Andrade. Okay. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins served as ring announcers or commentators for this triple threat tag team match to determine who would get the shot at the Raw Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam. El Igolo and Angel Garza attacked their opponents before the belt to get an early advantage when we returned from the commercial break. Ivar and Alexander were trading counters. Garza and Andrade were sitting at ringside instead of standing on the apron so they could avoid getting physical for as long as possible. The other two teams, the other two teams eventually worked together to take him out. At one point, Ricochet and Andrade teamed up on Eric until it was time to go for a cover. We returned from another break to see Andrade and Garza take out Ivar. The match came to an end when Garza finished off Alexander with the ring clipper. So that means that at SummerSlam it will be Zelina Vega with Andrade and Angel Garza versus the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam. Next is Shayna Baszler versus Nia Jax. Okay, this one's pretty short, so Jax and Baszler had to wait until after the triple threat tag team match to settle their issues from the first segment. They immediately took the fight out of the ring and brawled until they were counted out. Several officials came out to separate them, and a few ended up being injured in the process. I don't know what they're doing. Dominic Mysterio confronts Seth Rollins. Ready? Okay, Rollins came out with Murphy to address what he has done to his recent opponents such as Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black. He said he wants things to be different with Dominic and claimed he didn't want any more violence. He asked Dom to come to the ring so they could settle this like men. The young Mysterio looked angry and he slowly made his way down the ramp. The Monday Night Messiah offered to mentor Dominic, but he ended up tackling Rollins. Which led to Murphy helping his leader take him out at ringside. They slammed Dominic into the barricade and the side of the announce table. The Messiah berated him. Rollins looked to the steel steps and said what happened next wasn't his fault. Before he could do anything else, Black ran down and tried to help, but ended up on the receiving end of a stomp. Damn. Okay. Rollins told Murphy he knew what he had to do for the greater good. The Juggernaut insisted. Before the Messiah slapped him, Murphy grabbed Black and attempted to blind him on the ring steps. Dom found a candlestick under the ring and unloaded both men until he sent them running to the back. Okay, next segment. We're running through this quick, baby. Mustafa Ali versus Bobby Lashley. MVP was in the ring with Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, the Hurt Business. After the break for another episode of the VIP Lounge, the fake US, the Fox US, I don't know. It's FUX, I don't know. The United States champion said he wanted to help Mustafa Ali and invited him to the ring. Ali did not seem interested in anything MVP had to say to him. He made it clear he wanted nothing to do with the Hurt Business. That is when R-Truth showed up and tackled Benjamin out of the ring. He failed to win back his 24/7 title and took off before MVP and Lashley could get their hands on him. The match began after the break. Lashley showed off his power by easily putting Ali on the mat with a couple shoves and throws. The Almighty dominated his smaller opponent until he was forced to help dispatch some ninjas. Why are the ninjas still a part of Raw? They allowed Ali to hit a suicide dive that sent him into the barricade. After the break, Lashley was back in control. Ali was able to counter the Dominator and hit a beautiful tornado DDT. He missed the 450 splash, and Lashley put him into the full Nelson for the submission victory. I love what they're doing with MVP and Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. The best thing they have fucking going right now. Oh my, I don't even want to talk about this. Last week, Stephanie, this is the women's championship thingy. I don't want to talk about this. Last week, Stephanie McMahon announced this match to determine the rightful Raw Women's Champion. Okay, let me get comfortable. The rightful women's champion. After Banks and Asuka Extreme Rules bout ended in controversy, Kairi Sane chased Bayley away from the ring before the match began to make it an even playing field. The Empress was irate and immediate to control with some stiff kicks. The Boss was able to turn things around, focusing all of her offense on Asuka's left leg. Banks tried to pull an Eddie Guerrero move by pretending Asuka attacked her with the title belt, but the official saw everything and refused to declare a disqualification. We came back from a commercial to see Banks with the upper hand again. It took a long time for Asuka to hit a counter and give herself a little breathing room. A frog splash couldn't keep Asuka down, so the Boss translated something into the Banks statement. Turned it into a Banks statement. When the Empress took control, we saw footage of Bayley beating up Sane backstage on the big screen. The distraction led to Asuka releasing her signature submission so she could save her friend. The ref counted her out and declared Banks the rightful women's champion. Why are they doing this? Why did it have to be a count out? I would have liked Asuka to become our champion. I don't want to see no count out. I would like Asuka to be a fucking champion. Jesus. Next. And next we have Murphy versus Humberto Carrillo. Humberto has been an ally of both Black and Mysterio, so he was looking to avenge his friend when he took on Murphy. The Juggernaut, took control early, but the Luchador did not let him have the upper hand for long. He used his speed and agility to turn the tables and set his opponent out of the ring. Carrillo, or Humberto, I'm gonna call him Humberto because I don't know how to say that, came close to winning with a missile dropkick to the back of Murphy's neck. After he managed to recover, the Juggernaut hit Murphy's Law for the victory. Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. Before the match began, Drew McIntyre accepted Orton's challenge for a WWE Championship match at SummerSlam with a quick promo. When Ziggler showed up, he demanded to know what the stipulation McIntyre has chosen. What was the stipulation that McIntyre had chose? The champ said this would be another Extreme Rules match, but it would not be one-sided like last time. The show had the champ reeling after the break, but the Scottish psychopath quickly turned things around when, with one black back elbow to the head, he propelled Ziggler into the plexiglass divider before taking out a candlestick and teeing off his opponent. It took a low blow for Ziggler to give himself some time to recover. McIntyre caught him jumping from the apron and drove him through the barricade as the show went to a commercial break. We returned right as McIntyre began throwing Ziggler around the ring with suplexes. After putting the show off through a table with a Claymore kick, McIntyre scored the win as he celebrated Orton, hitting with the RKO out of nowhere to close the show. Okay show. It was not the best show, but you know what? It was a decent show. I wouldn't give it a bad one. I wouldn't give it a F. I'll give it a C minus. Okay, so that was Monday Night Raw. Okay, so we just did Monday Night Raw, and now we're doing what's it called? Impact. So then we could just get this right underway, I guess. So the first thing that happened on Impact was the Impact Championship, the Impact World Championship match between Eddie Edwards and Trey Miguel. Okay, that's a very long one. Impact wasted little time continuing its considerable role of late. Continuing its considerable role as of late. Kicking off to Tuesday show. Kicking off Tuesday show with the world champion Eddie Edwards defending against Trey Miguel, one of the men whom he battled back in the main event at Slammiversary. A laser-focused Trey, growing and evolving with a very high-profile appearance in the company, grounded Edwards early and worked a Cobra Clutch. The champion answered with a belly-to-belly overhead suplex to down his challenger. Miguel tried to slingshot in, but Edwards downed him with a sit-out powerbomb for a 2 count. Miguel fought back using his speed and agility to answer Edwards' attack. He scored a quick near fall, nearly upsetting the champion as Josh Matthews and Madison Ray put over the Rascal as the competitor joined. Okay, he's not on AJ Styles. No, we're not even going to say that. That's disrespectful to AJ. The competitors strikes heading into the commercial break. A Pele kick by Miguel stunning Edwards back from the timeout. Champion and challenger threw everything they had in their arsenals at each other. Miguel entered a Tiger Driver attempt with the reversal into a head scissors. A second attempt with the Tiger Driver proved more successful for Edwards, who was disbelief as his opponent kicked out at 2. Edwards followed up with the Boston Knee Party and picked up a hard-fought victory. After the belt, the world-class maniac Eric Young entered the arena, teasing that he would join Edwards in the ring for a brawl. No, my time. He insisted, playing mind games with the champion. So the result of this match is Edwards defeated Miguel, and Eric Young came out after the match saying that he is next for the Impact Championship at Bound for Glory. What's next? The Wrestle House debuts. This one's not that long. In the debut of Wrestle House, Taya Valkyrie attempted to leave, only to run into a candid video of a miss, to which Johnny Swinger said in Cannery that Miz Arc really is in purgatory. I don't know, doing the jizzob. The jizzob is a nice jab. Tommy Dreamer joined the fray, claiming to have beat the house with the ECW checks before they bounced. Back from the break, the Deaners and Triple XL teased a brawl until Susie recommended a truce. No way, Jose, they said. We did not sign him, Dreamer added. That was a great one. I like that. I see Impact because, I like Impact. But I like that they did that. Dreamer said to pump up the talent, which also included likes of Kylie Ray, Alicia Edwards, Rosemary. Oh, I love me some Rosemary. And Johnny Bravo were competing for $1 million. From there, each of the competitors shut up to claim their rooms. Taya and Rosemary picked their rooms, leaving Bravo to decide which one to join. A disagreement between AC Romero and Crazy Steve gave way to match time. The winner getting to sleep in the ring. Romero tossed Steve around the ring, only to get caught in a game of rope running by the former circus clown. Romero dropped him by putting his opponent to sleep for the win. Later, in the broadcast, Cody and Jake Needner had a disagreement regarding snoring and ended up battling in the night's second Wrestle House match. I love Wrestle House. I love it. Give me more. But next was EC3 Speaks, Moose Response, and Deonna Purrazzo versus Kimberly. This one's gonna be long. EC3 produced his latest video package, admitting he must destroy his past in order to control his narrative. Moments later, Moose teased extending a challenge for his TNA World Championship, but only to be interrupted by Heath. The artist, formerly known as Heath Slater, talked to Moose into admitting there is no TNA championship, to which the former Eagle Land New England Patriot extended a challenge for next week. Scott D'Amore appeared and revealed that a win for Heath would earn him an Impact contract. That's amazing. I love TNA is doing so good right now. I'm so proud. Wasting no time, the focus turned into the squared circle as Knockouts champion. I told you in my rankings video, I said I'm gonna put Deanna as a star, and look what she's doing right now as a star. Deanna Purrazzo battled Kimberly in a non-title action. Lee, infuriated after suffering a shocker punch by Purrazzo last week, started red hot. She kept the champion off guard early and often before trapping her in a submission. Purrazzo escaped and immediately set her sights on the arm of her opponent, looking to pick apart in hopes of applying her trademark armbar. Kimberly fought back, delivered an enziguri, and scored a near fall. Counter wrestling ensued, and Lee scored a near fall with a German suplex. Purrazzo recovered, snapped her opponent's arm, and applied the Fujiwara armbar for the submission win. After the match, former champion Jordan Grace appeared. Grace faked an arm injury and unloaded on the Virtuosa. It's an Oso. They don't know how to spell. The Virtuoso, sending the champion scurrying to the secondary floor. Next thing. Katie Forbes reveals her new website photos, or does she? Oh my God, Katie Forbes, RVD, you are the luckiest man alive. That's all I'm saying. Katie Forbes, I have I'll send you my number. Moments after a backstage confrontation with Sami Callihan, Katie Forbes and Robert Dam. Katie Forbes and Robert Dam took to the ring for Forbes' grand reveal of her websites. Oh, I wish there were some other photos in there. News photos. Forbes was in a celebratory mood, ready to reveal all of her hard work to her fans. Instead, the photos debuted with Salcam's head over the top of Forbes. RVD's significant other pounded the mat in frustration, infuriated by the hackers' antics. Okay, I don't care about that segment, but Katie. Okay, we have Rich Swan's update. Rich Swann joined Just Matthews and Madison Rayne for an update on his health. Disappointed and dismayed, he blamed Eric Young for taking away his opportunity at Slammiversary, but also suggested he may have taken away his livelihood. Swann declined to get into the medical diagnosis and revealed that he will be on next week's show addressing the viewing audience for Impact from the Impact Zone. I don't care about Rich Swann. But let's get into the main event. The Good Brothers versus Reno Scum. The Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, made their in-ring debut with Tuesday's main event, battling Reno Scum after a parking lot brawl a week ago. Luster the Legend and Alex Thornstowe, I don't know, weathered an early storm by Anderson and Gallows, capitalizing on an appearance by Ace Austin. Oh my God, Ace Austin is fucking amazing. Mwah. That's what I got. The distraction allowed them to down Anderson and work him over for the majority of the bout before the attack to Gallows sparked the Good Brothers' comeback. The newcomers picked up the win after the Magic Killer, only to find themselves in a hard-hitting brawl with Austin and Madman Fulton. They fought through the backstage area and into the parking lot as the show faded to black, leaving fans with a cliffhanger for next week's show. Which Impact, I don't know, you guys are doing good. I like what you guys are doing. So that's all we had to see for Impact. Okay, so we are here with AEW. So this is the third show we're reviewing. You know what's gonna be next? NXT. Okay. So on AEW we start off with a 10-man tag with the best friends and friends versus the Inner Circle. You know what I love? Mr. Sammy Guevara is back, bitches. So now that's not made for kids anymore. Okay. You ready? Orange Cassidy led the team of best friends Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy into battle against the Inner Circle in a blockbuster 10-man tag team match as Freshly Squeezed and the Demo God continued their rivalry at the top of this week's broadcast. The babyface team took to the air, wiping Jericho's Santana Ortiz, Jake Hager, and Sammy Guevara out at the ringside early in the bout. The Spanish God attempted to break up a mid-match hug and paid for it, enduring an onslaught from the opposing team until Jake Hager elated the opposition's momentum by laying out Trent. The heels took over control of the bout, working over Trent. Trent finally created some separation and made a hot tag to Luchasaurus, who exploded into the match, wiped Guevara out with a lariat that turned the cocky heel inside out. Hager joined the fray in time for a house fight with a masked big man and delivered a lariat that knocked Luchasaurus' mask off. The action broke down, and with each competitor hitting their signature offense. Late, Jericho tried to use the baseball bat, but Cassidy prevented it and Lush Champion into the stands. Guevara looked to put Luchasaurus away, but Matt Hardy appeared to shove him off the ropes and into the waiting hands of the masked big man, which who scored the victory for the Jurassic Express and the best friends. I don't care about this match. I care about Luchasaurus and Orange Cassidy and my boy Sammy Guevara, who I love. And next is the TNT Championship match versus Warhorse and Cody Rhodes. In the biggest match of his young career, Warhorse stepped up to the plate and challenged the TNT champion Cody as a part of the American Nightmares Open Challenge. Cody was a bit overconfident. See, and I'm reading this Bleacher Report results like a alert, right? It says Cody a bit overconfident. No one's like, bro, you don't know how to speak, or what the fuck is going on with you? But Cody was a bit overconfident and teased a big open hand chop, but arrogantly planted Warhorse on the chest. The heavy metal loving ruler of ass answered, what the I did not know, with a nasty back chop and rolled up for the two. As Arn Anderson, I'm just gonna call him Double A, as Double A watched on, concern painting his face. Warhorse gold Cody into running the ropes. Forced Cody into running the ropes and flattened him with a lariat for another 2 count. During the break, Cody delivered a big superplex and followed up with some push-ups. As the story of an overconfident veteran continued to hang over the match, he applied the figure 4 looking for a submission, but Warhorse reversed. I'm just gonna call him War. War set up for a top rope double stomp, which Cody rolled to the floor Wars responded with a double stomp to the back of his opponent. A top rope elbow nearly earned the challenger the title. Late in the match, Ward tried for the double stomp, but jammed his knee that was injured earlier in the match. Cody took advantage and scored the submission victory with the figure 4 leg lock. After the match, the Dark Order hit the ring and attacked Cody. Double A looked to save, but instead Matt Cardona made the save in his AEW debut. If you don't know who the Dark Order won, it was something Silver, Alex Silver, and Aaron Morano or something like that. I don't know what their names are. Let me see if I can find them. No, I don't find anything. Okay. But talking about the Dark Order, next is a tag team championship match between Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus the Dark Order, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. The Dark Order, Stu Grayson, and Evil Uno finally reunited for a massive championship opportunity as they challenge Kenny Omega and Hangman Page for the World Tag Team Championships. Of note was Anna Jay's first appearance with the heel faction. Brief as it may have been, as oh my god, I don't know what they're. Page jumped Uno and Grayson before the bell, forcing Omega to rush his entrance and back him up. Tension reigned supreme between the babyfaces as the referee Rick Knox called for the bell. The champions out wrestled the opposition early, but Evil Uno downed Page and seized control of the match using joint manipulation as he targeted the big right hand of Hangman. The heels cut the ring off and isolated Page for his partner from his partner. During the break, Omega tagged into the match and ignited a babyface comeback as Brody Lee stood to watch over Coco Bano on commentary. A hard right hand by Page drove Uno into the waiting arms of Omega, who dropped him with a German suplex. At one point, Omega sent Grayson into the corner, and instead he soared over the ring post and onto Page. Uno capitalized on Omega's disbelief and nearly picked up the win with a corner cannonball by Uno and a 450 splash by Grayson. Nearly earned the heels the championship titles. Omega answered with a Snapdragon to Uno and Page. Obliterated Graceland and Page obliterated Grayson with the lariat. The combination or the last call earned the champions the win. After the match, Brody Lee ordered Cabana and Anna Jay to the back before verbally berating attacking Uno and Grayson. Lee said the Dark Order has strength in numbers and Page has pissed him off. For the last time, the Dark Order minions surrounded the ring, but the Young Bucks and FTR joined the tag champions for a brawl with the Dark Order. The babyfaces cleared the ring, leaving Lee scared. I don't know what that. Thank Omega for showing up. I guess, I don't know, something like that. Okay. Next is Hikaru Shida versus Diamante. Okay. A focus determined and altitude Diamante looked to follow up her victory over Eva Elise from last week with a non-title match win over the AEW's Women's Champion Hikaru Shida. Shida used strikes to halt Diamante early as Taz attributed their effectiveness to the champion's explosive leg power. Diamante answered with hard strikes, now backing down from the fight of her more established opponent. Late in the match, Shida powered Diamante down, but scored only a near fall. Frustrated and drawing comparisons to Cody earlier in the night, Shida delivered a running knee to put her opponent away and scored a hard-fought win. I don't think they're gonna put it in here, yeah. But after they had like a promo with Nyla Rose and Cameron or Ariane Andrew, and their tag team partners for the cup, for the tag team cup. Yeah. Now it's time for the greatest promo of AEW history. MJF and Wardlow made their way to the ring as the former vowed to address the current state of professional wrestling. No, I'm not gonna call him a loudmouth. The best heel of professional wrestling implored the audience to use hashtag MJF 2020 and not my champ, with the reason becoming clear in a moment. MJF cut a great promo on AEW World Champion Jon Moxley, calling the company less of a revolution and more of a dictator under a reign of a guy who came from the land of the Titans. And he accused of Moxley cosplaying as Stone Cold Steve Austin. I did not sound like Stone Cold. Criticized him for the champion campaigning for a dangerous style and claimed to draw better ratings than the champion. He added war famine, something like that, and global warming to the list of Moxley's offenses. MJF said he will not stop until he returns AEW to the pinnacle of sports entertainment. He wrapped up by challenging Moxley for please give the championship to MJF, Maxwell Jacob Freeman. I don't care what the MJF is the best person you have on that fucking roster. I don't care if it's Cody. I don't care who. You could beat anybody. Give him the fucking championship right fucking now. Okay, we're gonna do Darby Allin. We're going to the main event. Darby Allin failed to make his way to the ring for the night's tornado tag team match main event, in which he was scheduled to team with Jon Moxley against self-proclaimed FTW champion Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. Taz, Cage, and Starks appeared for a backstage promo, but as the latter two made their way into the arena, Allin flew from out of nowhere and wiped them out, enlightening the fight. The battle continued throughout the commercial break, with the heels earning an upper hand. As they executed a 2-on-2 move, beating of Moxley. 2-on-1 beating on Moxley. They turned their attention to Darby as the show returned from picture in picture. A save by Moxley sparked a babyface comeback just in time for action to break down. Allen broke up a pin only to endure a beating at the hands of Starks. Allen disposed of Starks, then joined Moxley for a coffin drop DDT combo that nearly earned the anti-heroes of AEW the win. Allen produced a skateboard with tacks on it and came down across Stark's back with it for the win. Thumbtacks and blood poured from Stark's back, and as Allen and Moxley celebrated the win, Allen stared Moxley down as Tony Schiavone announced that the two will meet next week for the AEW Championship. That's AEW. I don't care about anything else but MJF. Okay, give that fucking man the championship. I don't care what the fuck you do. Give the fucking man the belt. Okay. That's all I had to say. Thank you guys for watching. Oh no, the video's not ending. But we're going to NXT after this one. So, this was AEW. Okay, we are here with NXT. And we're going to start off real quick because I'm trying to get this. I know we still have SmackDown, which I really don't want to talk about SmackDown. But it looks like, so we start off NXT with Tegan Nox and Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae. The first match of the night didn't even get through the first entrance before everything broke down into mayhem. As Shirai made her way out, Kai attacked her from behind. This brought out Nox and LeRae to join in on the fight. The ref quickly called for the bell and the match got underway. Nox and LeRae had the first exchange. The poison pixie was more aggressive than usual as she beat down her opponent. They tagged their partners in at the same time. The captain of Team Kick went right after the NXT Women's Champion. She and LeRae kept her concerned with quick tags. Cornered with quick tags and double team moves. We returned from a break to see the babyface is finally starting to build some momentum. The champ hit Kai with several kicks before dropping her on her head with a German suplex. Nox was able to hit the shiniest wizard on LeRae before Shirai finished her off with a beautiful moonsault for the win. So, I really don't care about the women on NXT, to be honest. Next was Gargano versus Roderick Strong. Okay, Gargano and Strong, who are both heels, began this match with a surprisingly clean exchange of holds, counters, and takedowns. The master of the backbreaker got the upper hand and kept Johnny wrestling grounded for a little while before they started trading near falls. They came to a settlement and shoved each other. A few times before they went back to countering each other on the mat. We returned right as Strong hit a backbreaker to escape in a domino stretch. This led to the first strikes of the match as he chopped Gargano several times. After suffering several backbreakers, Gargano was able to pick up the win with one final beat DDT. Great match. I like the match that they put on. I don't know what they're gonna do with the Undisputed Era, honestly. Gargano, I like him better as a babyface. But next was Mercedes Martinez with Robert Stone and the Stunt Marvel Stone Bryan versus Shotzi Blackheart. Blackheart took it to Martinez right away, but several rights to the head. But she was quickly knocked off knocked out of the ring. Stone provided a distraction so his newest client could take over. The green hair grappler hit a nice dropkick, followed by a sunset bomb for a close 2 count. A few more kicks gave Blackheart a clear advantage, but Martinez refused to be pinned. One released German suplex from the top turnbuckle was all it took for the newcomer to turn the tables. She immediately hit her finisher to win the match over Blackheart. For me, I like what they're doing with Robert Stone and putting Mercedes Martinez with Aaliyah. Hopefully Aaliyah could get more wins with the Robert Stone brand. So let's get into our next contest. Keith Lee responds to Karrion Kross. Lee came to the ring and looked a lot more serious than usual. He said Dijakovic is a grown man. Who will be fine, but he still can't get past what Kross did last week. He said Kross had his attention now, but for some reason Cameron Grimes came out and started talking trash. He claimed he would take the NXT title before Lee dragged him into the ring by his neck with one hand. Before the beating could continue, the lights dropped and Scarlett appeared on the stage, surrounded by smoke. She stared at Lee. Cameron Grimes tried to attack the champ, but one more time, Lee powerbombed him before Kross appeared on the big screen and taunted him for watching his friend suffer last week. He gave the Limitless One an ultimatum. He demanded a shot at the title, or Lee will find out what the hard way is. He promised all of the champion's friends will suffer, and Lee immediately suffered the challenge. Okay, next was, I like what they're doing with Karrion Kross and Keith Lee. Cameron Grimes, stop your ass. But next it was Imperium versus Ever Rise. Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel returned to NXT this week to battle Chase Parker and Matt Martell, known collectively as Ever Rise. Barthel and Aichner maintained the upper hand for almost the entire match. Parker and Martell were little before they were jobbers. Were little more than jobbers here. Imperium got the victory with the European bomb as they celebrated. The Undisputed Era showed up and attacked them. The tag team that used to hold all of the gold in NXT is looking to establish its dominance once again. And it looks like Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly have their sights set on the tag team titles. Next it is Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Jake Atlas. Atlas and Scott were both looking to get ahead in the cruiserweight division, and despite being friendly with each other, both men looked more than willing to do whatever it took to win this match. They started with some quick counters. They saw Atlas get in some good offense. Swerve kept up with him and scored the first 2 count of the match. We returned from break to see Atlas hit a perfect springboard blockbuster for a near fall. He came close to winning against the same headlock DDT Jon Moxley used first as Dean Ambrose. Scott brought him up for a series of moves and reversed but the momentum of the match. Atlas took control back with a modified Olympic slam from the top rope. Swerve got the win with his planted jam with something JML driver. I want Isaiah Swerve Scott to become the next Cruiserweight champion in NXT. In our main event, it's Finn Balor versus Dexter Lumis versus Timothy Thatcher. The main event of the night promised to be interesting as Balor, Lumis, and Thatcher competed for a spot in the North American title match at TakeOver 30. Lumis stood completely in his corner after the bell, while Balor and Thatcher locked up. The artist threw both of them out of the ring and flipped over the top rope and landed on his feet. He had the power advantage in this contest and he used it to keep the Prince and Thatcher at bay. The submission specialist used his superior ring IQ to punish his opponents in various holds. Throughout the match, most of Balor's offense consisted of his usual array of kicks and chops. All three men came close to winning before Lumis choked out Thatcher and secured his spot at TakeOver in that ladder match for that North American Championship. I don't care what they're doing with that North American Championship. Give it to Isaiah Swerve Scott. Bro, I'm not going to do that voice anymore. My voice fucking hurts. My throat hurts. Okay, so we're just going to get right into SmackDown. So SmackDown starts with the Intercontinental Champion AJ Styles defending his title against Gran Metalik. Styles walked too confidently into this match, only to have Gran Metalik take the early lead. He tripped the Phenomenal One off the apron, then sent his already injured ankle into the steel barricade. Slowed by the injury, the luchador was able to run over the champion. Lindsay Dorado cheered his friend on as Metalik owned in the victory. However, as the luchador jumped at Styles off the second rope, the Phenomenal One caught him with a shoulder block, followed by the calf crusher to force a tap out. Styles had a cheap shot at Lindsay Dorado from behind after the bell. As he was checking on his friend, he followed up with a Styles clash. Later in the night, the Lucha House Party found Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura celebrating their tag titles when the champion sent the potential challengers away, as the party was for champions only. Next was the King Corbin versus Drew Gulak. King Corbin saw Shorty G backstage taunting him about watching a match rather than wrestling. He offered to help Shorty get more opportunities if he took out Matt Riddle. After a replay of the bar fight, Jeff Hardy headed to the ring. He explained that he knew he was now on the right path of putting Sheamus behind him. The King arrived to mock the charismatic Enigma until Drew Gulak attacked Corbin, starting their match early. Corbin on the Gulak had Corbin on the ropes by relying on his speed. However, in the power of the King was too much as Matt Riddle's music hit. Corbin hit the deep six, followed by the end of days for the win. The original bro attacked King Corbin. Shorty G involved and planted Matt Riddle with a rolling German suplex before walking off with Corbin. That's crazy. I don't watch SmackDown. I don't have time for SmackDown. That's all. This is all news for me. As the night began, Biggie promised to make his presence felt. When he defeated the Miz and John Morrison laughed at the idea that Biggie could go on his own. Morrison attacked Biggie on the outside as the A-lister distracted the referee early, allowing Miz to get an advantage over the dangerous powerhouse. Miz dodged Biggie ending the Biggie ending by raking the eyes of Biggie and hitting a snap DDT. The big man refused to get up despite taking serious punishment. Give up. Not get up. Give up. The referee caught the shaman of Sexy trying to attack Biggie and threw him out. Biggie caught the A-lister in the stretch modifier and forcing a tap out. Wow, a tap out. What? It's weird. Okay, what's next? Naomi versus Lacey Evans. Okay, this one's gonna be quick. Lacey Evans promised to embarrass Naomi again, despite whatever hashtag Naomi had managed to get trending on Twitter. The sassy Southern Belle used Naomi's hair repeatedly to attempt to get one up on Naomi. However, Naomi was ready for the tactic. She ducked the women's right and caught Evans with a backslide for the surprise 3 count. Afterwards, the sassy Southern Belle demanded Corey Graves to get Lacey deserves better. Kiss my ass, Lacey. Oh my god. The best freaking women's wrestler, Sonya Deville, attacks Mandy Rose and cuts her hair. Mandy Rose promised to take Otis out after SmackDown to his favorite barbecue place. First, she needed to freshen up while Otis went to find Tucker. Deville ambushed Mandy Rose. She smeared makeup on the goddess face. Finally, she took a pair of scissors to Mandy's hair, cutting off chunks. Officially got involved to stop Deville using clippers as well. Miz and Morrison made fun of Rose for losing her best trait with various puns, while Otis and Tucker checked on the goddess. Man, Sonya Deville is the greatest thing on fucking SmackDown. I love Sonya Deville. I believed in Sonya Deville forever. People were like, oh, Sonya Deville is no. Sonya Deville is the best fucking thing WWE has going on SmackDown. Everybody else kiss my ass. Mark Strowman, you ass. You're the worst fucking champion we have seen. Goldberg is better than you. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are the best things. Becky, I could care less. AJ Styles, I love you, but come on. Matt Riddle, I don't know what they're gonna fucking do with you. Baron Corbin, Drew Gulak. It's boring. It's boring. We gotta get to the main event, though. Oh, the Women's Championship. I think Bray Wyatt attacked. The Fiend attacked. Bayley won. I don't want to do this. Bayley won. The Fiend attacked Alexa Bliss with a mandible claw. That's crazy. That's crazy. But that was SmackDown. I'm gonna rant here right now. WWE, nobody cares about your product. People are doing better. You guys need to fucking do better. You guys are boring right now. Nobody wants to watch you. Your ratings are going down for a fucking reason, which they should be going down for a reason. Cause yours is boring. You only have one good thing on SmackDown. NXT at least is doing better. Raw is doing better. SmackDown is the worst thing we have. Sonya Deville is making SmackDown great. And you know what? You should put Sonya Deville. I don't know. Braun Strowman wasn't even on the show tonight. What the was this? Come on, WWE. Get your shit straight. Because your shit isn't straight. And your shit is nasty. That's what I'm saying. Good day. Goodbye, sir. Thank you for watching my weekend review.